What's up? It's Matt. We're back with another episode of MPTV. We're down in Isle of Palms, right?
That's right.
We're near Charleston. We've been driving around everywhere, shooting restaurant videos for America's Best Restaurants, and been shooting a lot with this man, Perry. So, Perry, tell them who you are and the restaurant you've got.
Yeah. So my name's Perry Freeman. I moved down to Charleston about over a decade ago. And we started a concept called Charleston Sports Pub in West Ashley area. We got very lucky there, and it grew like crazy. And we grew that to 7 concepts or 7 units, and then also have Coconut Joe's here on Isle of Palms, and then where we just left, Lawrence's on Isle of Palms, that we just started a brand new concept this past summer, just a few months ago actually.
So what impressed me, we started talking. I talked to a lot of restaurateurs. A lot of people have similar stories of how they got into it, but I want you to tell me your original story, because you were talking about growing up not in a cushy. I grew up in a cushy life, no lie.
Yeah.
My dad was a very successful entrepreneur. I had 2 cars when I was 16,
Yeah.
so I had a little different journey, but I think that's what got you here today.
Yeah. I mean, my family grew up very modest, we'll say that, and so I didn't worry about when I was going to eat, but we didn't have a whole lot of stuff, and so my uncle had a construction company who did drywall. He worked for one. It wasn't his, but I was 10 years old. My summers I would spend hanging in drywall and scrapping out houses, to make money to pay for school clothes. And then I remember my first job, I got a job washing dishes at a Chili's. I was 16, 15. And I thought to myself at the time, I was like, these guys are idiots. This is the best job I've ever seen. I was used to being in 100-degree heat, covered in dirt, debris, and I had 12 and had back problems. So here I'm just like spraying dishes off at a Chili's for minimum wage, and I was like, man, this is the best job I've ever seen in my life. And then so I kind of just went from there. As I said, I jokingly said, this is what God. He didn't say, hey, you're going to be good at golf or something easy. Restaurants was going to be my thing. I feel like I knew that immediately. Even as washing dishes, I knew immediately, like, this is what I'm going to do. And so I just progressed up into the ranks. I went to bus tables, and I became a fry side cook, and then eventually was managing restaurants when I was like 21. And so even through college, I managed a restaurant, and it's the only thing I know. I don't know if I didn't do that. I don't know what else I would do. It's been my life for 20 years now. So
when I think about what's awesome about your story is I just left the South Carolina Restaurant Association show, and they were talking. There was a couple sessions about employment and about getting people to get in the industry. And they talked about stories like yours. They mentioned another gentleman and said, look at this gentleman's story. He's got like 20 restaurants now. He started as a busboy.
Yeah.
Do your busboys know that?
Yeah, we try to make it known, during our orientations. This is what the ownership looks like. This is what these people have went through. This could be you, and you hate to just sort of dangle that carrot all the time, because not everyone's going to be that person. Some people, this job is just a job for the summer, and that's okay. Everyone's got to play a role. Not everyone's going to be the quarterback. Sometimes you need to be the left tackle, whatever the case may be. But we try to make that known, if this is and to all of our people, if whatever you want to do, we'll help you achieve it here. You can do it. You can come from nothing, work hard, and do whatever you want to do, So we try to get that point across. And for some, we've had some people that have been with us from day one, and they see that vision, and they're rewarded every second of the way that I'm rewarded. They're rewarded. But yeah, I think it is important to let people know that. And for a lot of people, there's sort of this, I don't know what the word is, but sort of this false sense of like, this guy came from, Silver Spoon and had all this money. They don't know. I mean, the wildest story I could probably tell you is that, opened the first restaurant, no money in the bank account. Literally the day that we opened, just a couple $100 in the bank account. I didn't even know how we would pay bills for some checks that we had written. Didn't have the money there. So it was like begging people to come in the door day one, or these, I'm going to have to tell vendors calling me saying, hey, the check bounced. Really? I had no idea,
How'd that happen?
That's crazy. Yeah, can I give it to you Tuesday? That was what, but I, was willing to gamble and take that on myself and just say, hey, this is an opportunity. I'm going to run with it. I will not fail, no matter what. I'll figure a way out to get some people in this door, to have some sales, whatever it may be. We'll figure it out, and just ran with that.
You're young. You're 35.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm young and successful at 45, and I'm like, I'm quitting. I'm done. Because when I'm following you around today, we've shot at what? 3, 4 restaurants? Three restaurants today, one more tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Yeah, we've been very, very fortunate. We got a lot of really good people, and that's all I can say is we've been very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know, sometimes in life it's not just about. I've seen great concepts, I've seen great locations, I've seen great people fail. And so you got to be really good, and then also have some luck. So it's and we're very fortunate to have had that.
Now, you climbed the ranks, you went through all those steps. When did you decide to buy and open that restaurant with no money? When was that decision?
Yeah, so kind of funny enough, we had an opportunity. I was working with a company, or another restaurant group, and an opportunity came up that was basically like across the street from one of their locations. We just kind of fell into a scenario where this building, these people left immediately, and they had left everything behind: furniture, full kitchen, everything. Now, it wasn't the nicest looking stuff, but it was full everything. And so it was just an opportunity. We said, well, let's get in here and do what we can do, put some TVs up. We're going to call it a sports themed thing because that was the easiest thing and the thing I knew the most. And it just literally was an opportunity that sort of fell in our lap a little bit. Lucky again, it was just a fortunate thing.
And at what point did you find success to go, okay, I'm going to do this again? Because a lot of restaurateurs, they get that first restaurant, they think they found success, they open a second one, and now they have 2 restaurants that suck.
Yeah, yeah. I ask myself every day if those decisions are right. Even at this many stores, you have one, you go, shit, man, maybe we shouldn't have did that one. Maybe this was a bad idea. I mean, I think no matter who you are, you have a little bit of self-doubt there. But, for me, I just always feel like I had this little bit of a chip on my shoulder that I was going to just prove that I could do this, that I was going to get multiple restaurants, that I could do it no matter what. And so I don't know if my decision was based on good logic. I just know that we were doing well,
yep.
and another good opportunity came up, and it wasn't a good location, and it wasn't some high profile good spot, and nothing special about it. But it was that same mentality. I'll find a way to make it work. I mean, I'm just hungry. I'll make it work. We'll get people in the door. I don't know how. We'll blow social media up. We'll beg. We'll give away stuff. We'll do anything, but we're going to make it work. And we did. I mean, and it was a time where we didn't have the proper staff. We didn't have infrastructure. I remember nights running back and forth between both of the places because we didn't have management, and not because of these times where there's a lack of people. It was a lack of my knowledge and experience to say, hey, I need to train these people better. And so there were definitely some growing pains, and there was definitely some nights I laid my head down and said, man, I messed up. I really made a big mistake, but I think that just kind of drove me more. When, that little bit of self-doubt was like, prove yourself wrong. Just get over it. Get over it. Cry. You can cry for 30 minutes. No, get over it. You got to wake up tomorrow. The building's still going to be there. The bills are still due. Get some people in the door,
And so the main brand, you've got 7, right?
Charleston Sports Pub, yeah.
7 locations?
Yeah.
When did you decide to jump over to the new one? I know that the restaurant we're sitting outside, Coconut Joe's, was an opportunity for somebody getting out of the business, right?
Yeah. So I've just always been that just looking for an opportunity, whatever it may be. And again, restaurants has been where my focus has always been. And so this opportunity came up. A realtor that I know well reached out and said, hey, this is a really good opportunity. This guy is he's just retiring. The business isn't bad. You don't need to do anything really. In terms of, changing a whole new thing. And so, it was just a really good opportunity. I met with them. The numbers looked great. And I saw a really big opportunity to grow their sales. They were doing very well, but my experience, I looked and I was like, holy cow, they're doing, they were doing very well, but we could grow, and we did. Within the first year, we grew their sales. Every month was the highest month they had year to date. And so from when we took over, that following year, from year to date, we had grew their sales by 40%. Just for some kind of simple changes. And it wasn't because they weren't doing well or didn't know, it was just some simple things.
Different eyeballs.
That's
probably
right.
A little different energy too, because you got that person on the down slope.
Yeah, and that and they had great ownership before, that was it. They were ready to be done, and so it was a good opportunity to just step in and say, here, let's branch out into this. And I really do. I think that was I don't know that I'd ever get another opportunity like that. I mean, I felt like a kind of a once in a lifetime golden opportunity. So. Just had to jump on it and take the risk. And again, it was a scenario where I almost drained myself financially to make it happen, but it's paid it, tenfold, so it's been probably the best decision financially, business-wise, I've ever made.
Yeah. So I've got the pleasure of following you around today because we've been at 3 of your restaurants, and I like to sit back and watch. And I'm in a lot of restaurants. I'm in hundreds a month. And what impressed me the most about you, why I wanted to sit down and talk to you, was there's obviously systems behind you. A friend of mine, David Scott Peters, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, is the systems guy, the checklist guy, talking about freeing restaurants owners from their restaurant. I didn't see you in the time I was there, like, doing stuff. You had people doing it, and you were leading.
Yeah, I mean, that's, as I alluded to in the beginning, that was a mistake I learned very quickly in the beginning, is that I said, I was the not the most important. In the beginning, when we just had the one, we had some key people, but it was me running the show, and then as we got 2, I said, it's fine, I'll keep running the show. I couldn't keep running the show. I was only one body, and these 2 places were 45 minutes apart, and so quickly, we got to get some key components here. No matter what I have to pay, we got to get some good people. And then, so from that point, again, every step of the way, as soon as we could afford to bring more infrastructure, we brought more infrastructure. As soon as I could afford a marketing in-house person, so I never had to look at social media. I mean, I still do, but so I didn't have to be that one. Didn't do it. As soon as we could get an office person, so I don't have to do some of these, tasks that are important, but I don't need to worry about putting in an invoice. I need to worry about making sure my restaurants are running. You know what I mean? And so that was what we tried to build now. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like we've built a bigger infrastructure than anything that I really have seen growing up. I mean, we have, 9 locations per every 2 stores. There's one regional that oversees it.
Okay.
So there's a kitchen manager, 2 front of the house managers, a general manager. So each store has 4 managers salaried, and then a regional that oversees A and B.
Okay.
And so by that, is that overkill? Sure, I think it's overkill, but not a lot of things have to come to me, and we can focus on the restaurants being perfect. And with the staffing, with the way things are now with the staffing crisis, I don't know where we would be if we didn't have that infrastructure. Like, I don't know what we would do sometimes. We struggle even now to keep, with managers and staffing. Luckily, we have this regional and this person that oversees that can step in, can help, and can sort of facilitate things without it coming to me. So, and I'm always, of course, I'm in the stores all the time. I'm more than willing to help, but that's sort of the premise, like, don't come to me.
Well, and you've obviously done that right, because I watched closely today. Like I said, I'm in a lot of restaurants. I've got hundreds of friends that own restaurants that are awesome operators, but I see them when I'm in the restaurant with them. Sometimes they're running dishes, they're doing something. And I watched your different operations manager was there today, Adam.
Right. Adam, yeah.
And he was there watching him work and watching it. The other thing I saw that I noticed is that you're not out of touch with what's there, because I saw the employees walking by and, hey, there's smiles. There was a lot of happy people.
Yeah, I mean, I've always tried to keep that philosophy too, is I feel like, with the staffing stuff going on, especially, we were just talking about this, but it's a lot of times I see restaurants when they have these issues with staffing, is because the staff doesn't have loyalty to the people above them, right? And so if you are working for me and you don't feel any sort of tie to me, what keeps you there? I mean, money can't be the driving factor in life anymore, because everywhere has good money, right? In this business, you can go make good money anywhere. Yeah. But what we've tried to do is say, build that relationship because you may not leave when you have that bad day if you know that you're gonna have to tell me you're leaving. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if you don't tell me, you're gonna have to deal with me being like, where did you go? Because I'll reach out to you. Where the hell did you go? And so, not to say you want people to feel pressured to stay. I mean, I strongly tell people, you do what's best for you no matter what. Yeah. But I think it does help us prevent people from knee-jerk reactions leaving, because that happens all the time in this business. And it also prevents people from leaving on bad terms. You get a better opportunity, sounds good. Work out your 2 weeks. I'll be the first one there on your first shift to high-five you and leave you a 35% tip. You know what I mean? That's sort of what it builds, is you want people to know who we are and feel connected to us. And that's why I try to go to the stores, even though we have many. I try to go every day to at least one store just to say hey and say, here's my face. I'm a real person. I'm not just this guy behind the desk stamping a check and throwing it out the window.
Okay, break time. Restaurant owners, you're watching MPTV, so you're obviously interested in increasing your sales and profits. But what if I told you could eliminate the hope and pray out of your marketing? You could spend money and actually see results. You know, most marketing starts with attention, like a billboard. The problem is that attention leads nowhere. That's why we created the ROI Engine restaurant program. We take attention and gain huge engagement, whether it's in-store or online. We help you build a database with deep customer information that's comprised of email, cell phone, and birthday. And then we drive them into the restaurant with trackable results. Yes, results you can actually see. If you're interested and want to have a conversation, check out restaurantmarketingthatworks.com. Worst case scenario, you get a lot of great ideas. Now back to the show.
So next question goes to food. So I've eaten at 3 places today. I've had tastes of probably, I guess, about 10 to 12 items.
Yeah.
None of them sucked. None of them were bad. I'm saying this with sincere thoughts. They were all excellent.
Yeah.
I know there's not a master chef in the world, but what have you done with your team to cultivate that taste bud? Because I mean, you had the Nashville hot mac and cheese quesadilla, then we had the po' boy, all sorts of things there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give Adam all the credit on that. We've sort of been the ones that from day one we've cultivated this menu, and honestly, I feel bad for him sometimes. I'll come up with these ideas and I say, here, I want to do this. We're going to do this. I give him no direction. I just say, here's what I want. Go figure it out. And he does. And every time it's usually a home run every time, or we go back into the lab and tweak it a little bit until it is. But he's been the brainchild behind the food in the very beginning. I mean, when we opened, this is no lie. I can tell you, I made the entire menu, and this was the original menu. I made it, and for Charleston Sports Pub concept, I made it, and I just said, here's the menu. And he's like, okay, what about these? I was like, I don't know how you're going to make any of these. Just make this.
He told me that before you got to the first shoot. I asked him what his background was, and he goes, yeah. And he said he had the menu idea, and he gave it to me. And I said there were no menu cost cards. And he's like, no, I just figured it out, and we did, and here we are.
Yeah, there was no recipes. There was no what is this going to do or taste like? I was like, I just know this is a good idea. I know this item will sell. I know people will like this. It's different. Go figure it out. And so we do that. We try to run a feature menu we'll run it for a couple months at a time, but we'll run some different items, just stuff we've created and different items. This coming Friday, we're rolling out one, and we have a new buffalo dip on it, which I know is nothing out of the crazy world, but we have a pizza fry item, which is literally just like pizza on top of French fries, basically.
Nice.
And then a really cool item that we're doing with a chicken thigh over some mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts.
Nice.
And so, but yeah, we just come up with different stuff, and he's taken on that role. He didn't have any sort of professionally trained, he wasn't professionally trained as a chef or in the kitchen, but he took that on and he took it seriously, and we knew in the beginning, hey, the food's got to be legit. I mean, this is a foodie type. Charleston's a very foodie heavy area. There's competition everywhere, So we sort of both learned as we went a little bit,
Well, I gotta say, you guys are crushing it.
Restaurant owners, did you know Matt has free online marketing courses that teach you how to successfully market your restaurant? Email support@mattplapp.com to get access to the courses and a free social media content calendar.
So the last question I always ask people, and this one I'm curious to hear because I know you've got the real estate with some of the places you own, you've got the restaurants, you're very, very driven. Is there an airplane mode? You got your phone, you hit airplane mode. Mine, I like to work out. I like to spend time with the family. What is your airplane mode when you want to get away from the grind?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a creature of habit. I kind of feel like a lot of people say that they're structured, but I do almost the same thing every single day. I do really like to, not that I'm in some great shape, but I like to work out and run every day. That's kind of my getaway. As I take usually my first 2 hours of my day, I will do some sort of workout of some kind, whether it be a bike, a run, weights, whatever it may be. The main thing I really try to do is every 2 months go somewhere. I'm really big into sports, so I like going to live games, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, whatever. But I feel like it's very important. I learned you can burn yourself out really quick, and so I did in the beginning. We first opened, I bet for 3 years I didn't take, no lie, for 3 years I bet I took 5 days off, and if I could go back, I wouldn't change it either. I mean, I feel like I needed to do that. And,
well, it shows you've got to put those time in your own mind, earn it.
Yeah.
But then you also have to know that was a mistake.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I did. I said, I wouldn't change that, but I can't live my next 3 years this way. I can't live the next 10, 20 years this way. So now I try my best to, again, every 2 months, even if it's 2 days, 4 days, something, just get away, recharge. And every time, you come back, and me, I'm one of those, I feel guilty when I'm not around.
Oh, yeah.
So I get back, man, and it's like, I try not to tell people when I leave. I don't want people to know when I'm not around, but it's obvious because when I get back that one Monday morning, it's like 7:30 hits, and I'm just like turbocharged. I'm like, Perry must have been gone this weekend because there's like emails flying. I'm like, where are you at? I was like, it's like 8:01, man. Like, yeah, like, you're all right over there? I'm like 6 pots of coffee deep already, but yeah, but I think that's important, to really recharge. And for me, it's, I really, like I said, sporting events and that kind of stuff, you can clear your mind. And I think sometimes that's like sort of meaningless stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you get caught up in that, but at the end of the day, for me, as much as I may love this team, they win or lose, my life's not any different. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I think that for me, though, I get that few hours where I'm like in that airplane mode,
So what's the most memorable sporting event you went to today?
God. The Braves I'm a big Atlanta Braves fan. That's probably the team I pull for the most of anything. I've been to a bunch of playoff games. The most recent thing I would say that was the coolest thing was Freeman hit for the cycle a few months back in Miami. They were playing the Marlins, and I just happened to be at the game when he hit for the cycle. So
that's cool.
It was funny. I was like, the person I was sitting beside, we were talking about something. They started up something where it was talking about no hitters, and I was like, man, I've probably been to 100 Braves games, and I've never been to one where something meaningful
crazy
happened, like a really, like something like a no hitter or like a big stat happened. Playoff games, yeah, but nothing crazy. And then he gets a triple in the first inning, and I was like, this is interesting. Like it just felt like something like, he's not a guy that's going to get a triple really often. I was like, okay. And then he gets a double and then a single in his last at bat. I'm noticing, we're like, man, if it's a home run here, this is a cycle. Like, holy cow! Sure, it hits a home run, and the place went crazy. Well, it was in Miami, so it was only like 200 fans there.
There's like one person and a homeless guy.
Yeah, and all of those were Braves fans, So it was like, but it was a cool moment to see, and the team was pumped. Everyone was like running out there to him. So it was cool. It was pretty.
What's a bucket list one?
Besides
the Braves and the World Series.
Yeah, I mean I'm hoping the plans this year to go check out the World Series. I really wanted to do Super Bowl, no matter who it is. I haven't been to a Super Bowl, so whoever plays, if it could be a team that I cared about, would be even better. But I think I'm going to try to go. I don't know about this year, but just go no matter who, and just go to the game. I believe the Super Bowl is in Atlanta next year, so
they do a huge event around the stadiums too.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about if that's the case, I was thinking about going next year to Super Bowl, because I feel like that's just an experience, a weekend you just got to go to, check it out. So we'll see.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, hey, great job. Keep it up. And that's all I got here. This is an operator. If you get a chance to come down to Charleston, look up his restaurants. What are the websites for the restaurants, real quick?
Yeah, so charlestonsportspub.com,
Yep.
lawrencesseafood.com, and then Coconut Joe's beachgrill.com.
Yeah, I can attest. Great operations, great food, great customer service. The staff were all smiling, and it's a place you want to come to. So come down, look at what he's working on, and see how you can take that back to your restaurant and do the same. We'll see you next episode.